All right, we are going to be solving equations with negative numbers. This is exactly like solving equations with the addition principle and the multiplication principle, except now we're just going to fling in some negatives for funsies. So to get started, we are going to start off where we have the vague directions solve, which pretty much says solve for whatever variable you see. And our first one we are going to have says we have x minus 3 equals negative 11. First things first, we identify the equation. And what we want to do is focus on the side the variable is on. There is x, so that's the side of the equation we mess with. Currently, we have x minus 3. We want to undo the minus 3. So to undo it, we'll add 3. And what we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other. Now we are left with x equals, and here's where the interesting part happens. We have negative 11 plus 3. First things first, the signs are different. One's negative and one's positive. So you take the bigger absolute value minus the smaller absolute value, and conveniently they're already that way for us, and we will subtract. So 11 minus 3 is 8, and we keep the sign of the bigger absolute value. Well, the bigger absolute value is 11, and we'll keep his sign, which is negative. So our final answer is x equals negative 8. So starts off nice. Let's see another one, a little bit different. Let's say we have x plus 29 equals negative 54. So it's the same question. It's the same thought process. You identify the equation. I know it seems silly, but it really will help us in future math and the future problems in this course. So we identify the side that has our variable. Here's the x. This is the only side we mess with. Don't care what the other side looks like. He has my variable. That's the one I want to mess with. We have plus 29. So to undo it, we subtract 29. And what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Now we're left with x by itself equals, and here comes the good part. We have a negative and a negative. If the signs are the same, we add them. So 4 plus 9 is 13, carry the 1. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus the 1 is 9. I don't know what I said there. I didn't mean 9, I meant 8. And the signs are both negative, so our answer shall be negative 83. And that's not too bad. So that's just addition principle. Now let's solve equations with negatives, of course, using multiplication principle. So I'm going to give us the same vague directions, solve. And they're just a little bit of a different type, so I'm going to renumber them, start back at 1. And let's say we have negative 3x equals negative 15. So we have negative 3 times x. First thing we're going to do, identify our equation and mess with the side that has our variable. So we're messing with the left side. It's negative 3 times x. So to undo it, we divide by negative 3. And I must stress that to you. It's negative 3 is included in this business, so that negative goes with it. Don't lose track of your negative. So you're dividing the other side by negative 3. Now negative 3 divided by negative 3 is positive 1, so we're left with 1x. And negative divided by negative is a positive. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And I'm sure you're wondering at your screen, do I have to write that plus sign? Hell no. You just have to write x equals 5. And there's your answer. You're like, let's see another one of those. So, number 2, same direction, solve. Let's say we have, I don't know, negative 12x equals 120. I'm sorry, I made a boo-boo. Dyslexic moment. There will be a 2 there. 132. Now, same story. Identify your equation. Mess with the side that has the variable. It's negative 12 times x. So in order to undo it, we divide by negative 12. And what we do to one side, we do to the other. Negative 12 divided by negative 12 cancels out, and we're left with x. 132 divided by negative 12. Well, we have a positive divided by a negative, so our answer will be negative. And 12 can go into 132 11 times evenly. And there's our answer. In case you don't believe me, let me just show you. 12 into 132. 12 times 1 is 12. Subtract. We got 1. Bring down the 2. 12 times 1 gets us 12. No remainder. And because we had a positive divided by a negative, our answer was negative. So, for addition principle and multiplication principle, life is pretty sweet. It's the same story. What you do to one side, you do to the other.